South Sydney were a popular tip to go back-to-back in the NRL this year. They started with a bang, but they've now lost 3 straight. Brett Kimmorley, what's happening?
Yeah, that's right. They're in a bit of a hole. Obviously, a lot of the opposition have worked out. If you just get into that arm wrestle with them and slow the ruck down a little bit, you can beat them. No Adam Reynolds. That's a massive loss for him. Adam Reynolds has probably got one of the best kicking games in the competition, near and close to Cooper Cronk. He steers a game plan. He just builds pressure and it allows the other players just to float around and just do their own jobs. You now got Greg Inglis playing as a halfback, doesn't suit him. You got Luke Keary trying to create some structure. He's not that structured sort of ball player. And John Sutton hasn't played too much football. So let's put injuries down to the reason why they've hit a bit of a hole. But let's say Adam Reynolds is the major reason. Their points over the last few weeks have dropped by about half because he's not there. They've now lost 3 in a row. The pressure's going to be on them as the favourite team in Sydney and everyone's second favourite team. Can they respond and handle pressure as one, the premiers, and as two, probably never been in this hole before like they've had for a number of years. So they're really struggling. They're in a big form slump. They've got a rep weekend. They've got a bit of time to get out of it, but I'm going to question when they do turn it around.
Glenn Stewart's now gone for a few weeks as well. He was one of their major off-season recruits. How does that affect them?
Well, Glenn Stewart allowed them to play a bit more free-flowing football. Everyone said they were too predictable Souths. They got him there now. They can play and live football. Well, he's done a job for them this start of this year. I think he's been very good. He's out for about 8 weeks with a hand operation. I think it's happening today. So they'll have to find a replacement for him. I don't think they realised that having Ben Teo was going to leave was probably replaceable, but I don't think people realised how big a loss Sam Burgess was going to be. Sam Burgess is one of those once-in-a-lifetime generation players. Sonny Bill comes into our game, wins a comp and departs. I put Sam Burgess equally as dominant as what Sonny Bill Williams is, but no one seems to be talking up the same sort of player. So he's lost as a front rower. He's lost as a lock. He's lost that he nearly plays 80 minutes of football. He makes line breaks. He scores tries. He saves them, and he's their actual genuine leader. So they've lost that. So they've been really hard to replace what Sam Burgess did from last year. They've now got Glenn Stewart injured. They've just got to keep rebuilding this football club.
Sam Burgess, also the way he plays, he was such an inspirational player, the way he led from the front. And obviously, could that have a mental impact on how the Bunnies are travelling?
I think so, yeah. I think when you've got a side that, and they've still got a very good football side, but I think when you go at training and you look around, you go, a good player, good player, good player, there's a superstar there. You just carry that air of confidence. And remembering last year and the last 2 seasons, they've just about won the minor premiership by a mile. They haven't sort of been in this situation where they've been challenged or they've been in this situation where they've lost too many games back to back. So an interesting stat that's come out from the last 2 or 3 years of football in South Sydney, they've only won about 30% of games when they lose or in the game by 4 points. So if you get into an arm wrestle with them and you sort of bring them back and stop their dominance, then you're a better chance of winning than most. But what they've done, and because the football side's been so good the last few years, they just come out and blow you away. They don't let you get in the competition. So they either win by 30 or they're actually a chance of losing the football game, which is, don't know how that works, but obviously that's what they're losing these close games at the moment.
Are they going to win enough games without Adam Reynolds to get into that top 4?
Well, the unsure thing about his Adam Reynolds is when's he returning. No one's got a clear date of when that knee is going to be better. You don't lose too many games of football this time of year because rep football, standalone, there's a few buys that start to sneak up and obviously they won't lose too many players apart from Greg Inglis to probably Origin. So they're going to be okay through that period. I think Chris Gresmill's been a star in what they've found from North Queensland. He's going very good for them. But they will make the semi-finals, South Sydney. They're a good enough football side to make the semi-finals. I still genuinely think they're the team or one of the teams to beat in the competition. The competition's come back a bit this year. It's so close. It's a great competition as a fan. Cowboys have come up to the mark. I thought the Cowboys were genuine contenders to win it. I think South Sydney still are the hardest football side in the competition mentally. They've probably, when they get all their players back, they're one of the best rosters in the competition. You've got to know how to win big games. They learned that last year, and I think once they get all their cattle back, they will still be one of the favourites to win the competition. But I'll hold my breath to when those players come back.
Don't lose faith just yet, Bunnies fans. They're going to be there come September.